Welcome back to the NerdCast Podcast, where we talk all tech-related home and office applications. I am your host, Chris, and today we'll be covering guest networks and how to set them up. First off, what is a guest network? A guest network is a connection that creates a separate access point within your router, allowing your guests to connect to another Wi-Fi network beyond your main network. In short, what are a few benefits? In short, security. Setting up a guest Wi-Fi network has several benefits, but ultimately it's all about security. Anyone with passwords to your private home network can potentially access any and all devices connected to that network. And a guest Wi-Fi network restricts access to those devices even though they are connected to the same router. More often than not, it's safe to assume that people in your home have no desire to access or manipulate the devices connected to your home network. But unfortunately, they can still pose a threat to your network security. And it may be things that are unintentional, like using a malware-infected device or downloading a virus while connected to your private network. Your guests may unintentionally expose your information or devices within your network. And so it's important to set up something that allows them to access the network, but also not create an additional vulnerability for devices that aren't necessarily recognized. So to create a guest network, most new routers, including those provided by ISPs like AT&T, CenturyLink, Verizon, Fios, and Xfinity, they feature an app that lets you access and manage your network or Wi-Fi networks. Each provider or router app will look a little bit different, but the option to create guest Wi-Fi networks should be relatively easy to find. So let's talk about a few steps that you'll take to set up this guest network. We'll start by entering your router's IP address into your preferred browser, whether it's Google Chrome or Microsoft Edge, Safari, Opera, whichever one that you use to access the internet, you can do that. So you'll find your IP address. Usually it's on your PC, Android devices, or Wi-Fi settings. And if you're looking to do that with a PC, you can just click your Wi-Fi symbol and select Open Network Preferences, and you should find it within those preferences. Once you do access that, you'll need to enter your router credentials to gain access to the admin settings. And you can often find this information somewhere on your router if you don't know it. Once you're logged in, look for guest network settings. And if you can't find them right away, check under your wireless settings or network settings or something like that. This is where you'll enable a guest network if necessary to create your settings there. Enter your desired network name and password, then save your network settings, and your new network should be ready for use. This increases security to make sure that all devices are accounted for. You can supplement that by setting up access control as well. So devices that may not be familiar devices or devices that would normally be connected to your network can be connected to guest networks rather than connected to your main network. So those that are going online, you can somewhat control what they do, where they go, and what information that they have. And I just want to run through a couple of questions that may be associated with creating a home network. First of all, a question that we might get is whether or not setting up a guest Wi-Fi network makes your internet slower. Using a guest network should have no effect on your speed or performance. So your guests should be able to enjoy the same speed and connection quality as your main network. But do keep in mind, however, that each connected device will use its share of bandwidth. So the overall speed and performance may lower with each addition to your router, regardless of the network. So if you are connecting to a guest network or your main network, you could still see some variability in speed based on how many devices you have connected at once. Another thing that may be a question about guest networks and the purpose of them is if you do have children, you can set up parental controls to allow certain access to your network and be able to control where or what is there, right? So in most cases, you can set up parental controls on a guest network. Devices are not, the devices that are connected to your router typically show up under the parental control settings, regardless of the network they're on. Some apps or routers, however, may not allow for parental controls on devices connected to guest networks. So if that's the case, you'll need to connect any devices you wish to apply the parental settings on a primary network. So they may already be established on the under parental controls, but you may want to look deeper into that to make sure that devices are. So that's all that you need to know about guest networks. Of course, if you have any questions, you can leave them in the comments below. And for all other tech-related applications and information, feel free to follow us and watch our videos that we've posted in the past. But for now, that's all we have for today. So check back in later for other tech-related and home and office applications.